topic that we're going to talk about today because it's quite interesting. So I'm going to, we were talking about COVID, and we're talking about how many more babies are we going to have, or how many more divorces are we going to have?
Well, I know there were some rumors when COVID started. It's like, oh, we're going to have another spike. We're going to have another baby boom. So I always have my eyes and ears open for new trends. And so now that we're a couple of months in, there's some research and some information that's starting to surface, let's say, right? Yeah. So I know in Psychology Today, there was an article that was published saying more babies or more divorces when quarantine is over. So it intrigued me. And, if you look at other disasters that we've had in the past, like the blackout hurricanes, the ice storm, these types of situations usually will spike a baby boom, generally speaking. But the trend right now seems to be more divorces, not more babies. Mm-hmm. I know Global News announced recently that this is coming from China, from statistics from their lawyers, that China was experiencing a 25% increase in divorce rates. And wow. That's pretty high, right? And ABC News said that they were predicting a 40% spike in rates in North America, almost double, which is crazy. So I started looking at this to say, like, what the heck is going on, right? But if you will, I'm just going to paint a picture, because I've talked to some friends, I've talked to some clients, and I want you to just imagine this for a moment, right? First of all, there's huge financial stress. Mm-hmm. So it's likely that one partner has been laid off, and in a lot of cases, both partners have been laid off. So we've got this financial stress. Not everyone qualifies for the financial aid that the government is doling out, right? So if you do, you've got some relief, but if you don't, like, what happens, right? The kids are home. And if you have kids, let's say, I'm going to say under the age of 15, you've got a lot of yelling going on. It's loud in your house. On top of that, you're tired. We have more to do. I was walking my dog, last month, and I saw a couple in the garage cleaning down. I was going to say hosing down, cleaning down their groceries, right? So now that you've got all these extra steps, cleaning your home, disinfecting your floors, disinfecting your groceries, domestic violence, everyone's heard this, it's on the rise, right? There's just a huge disruption. On top of that, the stress, the adrenaline and cortisol, and being afraid. So we're living in fear. And it's almost like this is the perfect storm that's going on. Majority of people also, they don't have the coping skills to deal with all this, let alone all of these things. Yeah. So it's like a really interesting time. So why choose divorce? I like to say it's not because the situation necessarily made the relationship bad. I would say the situation highlighted a not so great relationship to begin with.
That makes sense, Rosetta, because you can only one person can speak kind of for their perspective or what's going around them. But in any adversity in life, and this one was quite amplified right across the globe. But any adversity does test a marriage.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something out of your control. And how do we react to it? Whether you've lost a job, and I can recall going way back when our kids were really young, and we just had two, and they were babies, and both of us were out of work at the same time.
That's tough.
And that was like, and there was a mortgage and there was, all that stuff going through the head. And well, what do you do? And then, we've had other bumps in the road, but it does test adversity. So there's some, um, that's, I can understand where that would come from.
Yeah, for sure. And the other thing is people are also, I can relate to this one. People are faced with their own mortality, and they decide, life's too short. What the heck am I doing in a not so great relationship?
Yeah.
If I only got a few good years left,
Yeah.
What am I doing here?
You gotta be happy. Like, you find it within your, I mean, Camilla, you've been in this industry, you're a professional, you're accredited, I mean, you would know, you see that, and you're right, life's short. We don't know where tomorrow is. And you want to be happy. I mean, are there ways to repair, work? Absolutely. But you also have to be there to want it. And there could be many people that might have tried, and it's an unknown, but you've got to be happy, because if you're happy in love, you're going to do a whole lot more good than if you're miserable and upset.
And the other thing is, when it comes to marriage, it's work. And I'll tell you, it is way easier to walk out. It's way easier to call it quits than to work on the relationship. So, if you're having issues, I always say, get the support. There are a lot of psychologists, psychotherapists that are available and ready to help you and your partner, work through these issues. And very often when we are working with couples, there's one person that is interested and the other one that isn't.
Yeah.
Or one person that is not convinced that it's going to make a difference, right? So it's just so much easier to walk out.
I was sharing before you came back on, because I wasn't sure if we were going to get a connection, that about 13 years ago, Camilla, and I'm not ashamed, not afraid. I had a moment, and I had to reach out. And when I had that moment, and it was the typical trying to hold it all together. But when I had it. And your work, it does take work. The one thing I think I do think about is, for a lot of times, what sometimes happens is, for people that may not be, sometimes people may have concerns or issues. And if they're, for example, walking away from the marriage, are they taking those same concerns and issues into another relation? Because it's still about becoming a better person. It's still about working on yourself. So how do we
know they're going to do that, right?
It's easier to look, point the finger than to look outside your wallet. I mean, everybody does. I hear it. You know what? I go throughout a day and I can hear in other people make reference to something, and when I think about it, I'm like, we're all human, so we all have to look at ourselves in the mirror. How do I, as an individual, improve myself? How do I get better? How do I become a more loving, caring? How do I do all of that? Because it all connects. Not all of us think like that.
Yes, that growth mindset that we've talked about. So, we've talked a lot about, and we will continue to talk about, the practice of mindfulness and meditation, because I can't stress enough the benefits that it has on your overall mental health and physical health. So that could be something to engage in. The other thing is, for couples that are stressed and families that are stressed, it's so important to carve out some personal time. I spoke to a girlfriend of mine on today's Wednesday, on Monday, and she was out for a walk, and her husband had taken the kids to the park. And she says, we just need to spend time apart. We need to have our own personal time. We can't just be under each other's noses all the time. And if you can recognize that and separate your time, then you're going to be okay.
I can absolutely, well, first, thank you for saying that. And I can speak to it. I'm in 28 years married, 32, been with my husband. And does it just happen overnight? No, you have to work at it. You work at it. You work at it. So, but you do get stronger, and there's growth, and there's rules, respect, all of that. But what you just shared there, one of the things I learned, and it's too, you've got two people, each both 100% coming together. It's not 50-50, it's two individuals sharing their lives together. So their
Yes.
lives, they still have to be who they are. They have their own, like my husband has his own interest in things to do, and vice versa. But then how, then and I find, Camilla, as we become more recognizing that, and you come together, you're able to bring more to the conversation, more to the relation, more to, as opposed to you're with each other every single day. And yes, you may spend the time, but you've got to be able to have some separate. You're an individual. You came into this world as you, and then you make choice to share your life with someone. So there's, and it's incredible, but you still you.
And not every couple is good with, let's say, working together, living together, doing everything together. And I think that's like a Hollywood misnomer, but, recognizing that, and it's okay. It's okay that you're good for, I don't know, whatever number of hours and whatever activities you do together. We need to be careful that we don't make each other's wrong to fit some kind of ideal that's out there.
That's so powerful what you said.
Yeah, and then there's the last thing I wanted to say is, and I didn't really think about this until some family members brought it up, which is people are, we've got this conversation of, mistrust with the government and with the authorities, and now that's going on. So it's actually translating into people not wanting to have kids. They don't want to bring kids into this world with all of this chaos going on. So people are holding off. They're holding off because they want to see how things are going to sort themselves out. They need to feel confident that if they're going to bring a kid into this world, it's going to be a good world. So people are holding back. So I don't think we're going to be seeing the baby boom anytime soon.
It's interesting times. It's interesting observations. I feel there's no question there's a lot of transitioning going on. But I guess maybe I'm in, and do I feel that the world is becoming, and the world can be a better place? I guess I sort of look at it, it's what we make of it, it's how we react to it, it's the work that we put into it, because it still comes down to, it's not so much about what's happening outside, it's how we feel inside that helps us to determine how we react.
Yes, I'm hopeful that things are going to turn around. I always believe that sometimes we need to swing completely in one direction until we find that balance in the middle. And I feel the energy right now, that's what's happening, is we've swung completely in one direction. There's chaos everywhere, and out of the ashes will emerge something really great. I really believe that.
Yeah.
We need to have some patience and some hope and some faith that this too shall pass. Yeah. And when we're on the other side of whatever is coming, that it's actually going to be better than where we came from. That's what I believe.
Yeah, and I too. I feel it. Many years ago, I think I'd heard, if you believe in, I don't feel, I feel as though it took something like this for people to kind of wake up.
Right.
But we're in the early phase of that morphing. Is what
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
So, and people can share. So a lot of people may not necessarily love a level of technology that exists, but it does provide the right platform. And for all of those, when we have, it does help adapt for businesses, for flowing, connecting, because we are more connected now than we've ever been in any given time of this earth world. So that, I think, can allow us to, when you connect, you can have, you've got creative ideas, you start coming together, and, as opposed to kind of looking at the government, it's sort of interesting how people are kind of coming together. And some people are starting new businesses, new companies, new different ways. It's just, I love the opportunity to just keep the conversation going. And we love, and the world is going to be a better place.
Yes, there's definitely changes going on, but I do believe that we're going to emerge better and stronger than how we went into this situation.
Yeah, I too as well. So with that, without further ado, I know everybody that's watching, folks, or if you watch after, you will find us on Let's Talk with Camilla, and a community that, well, you're going to find us here, and I'll make sure everybody else knows this is where we are going forward. So Camilla, thank you very much, and have an awesome, blessed day.
Thank you. You as well.
All right. And we'll see you Friday.
Okay.
Okay. Bye,
Bye.
everyone.